From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Good morning to you. And this is breaking from overnight now. It's a fire igniting at a Jacksonville apartment complex. 2 people have to be taken to the hospital.
Now, it happened at a complex just off of Lone Star Road, that's in Arlington, and those 2 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries. There's no word yet on exactly how that fire started.
I'm Alex with Sather at City Hall, where this proposal was tabled after City Hall meeting just yesterday. Now, it was seeking funds to help teach kids how to swim across the First Coast, all after another child drowns in a First Coast pool up in Nassau County. Now, we'll have more on both of these stories coming up in your Power Block of News in just a few minutes.
And your third big story, after 11 appearances in the College World Series, the Gators have finally done it. Florida won the College World Series last night with a 6-1 victory over the LSU Tigers. I'm Monica Garcia, and I'll have the highlights for you coming up next. But first, let's go ahead and send things over to meteorologist Mike Pringley with your forecast.
Oh, I got to show this. We've got finally a mainly dry day. In fact, in the 7-day, we've got a pattern change. The jumbo shrimper in town, Diana Ross. And we're talking about if we do get any rain, just a quick shower at the beach this morning, 10 a.m. out toward Jack's Beach, then toward afternoon as we go toward the downtown for the Riverwalk, quick shower at noon for your lunch break, and then it moves well west by 2-3 o'clock. So tennis is a go tonight, and all those washed out plans, yes, you can start making up. Temperatures today 85 degrees, so a double bonus, mainly dry and comfortable for this time of year. And it looks like this trend of a more traditional summer pattern will continue into the weekend. And Beck, you ready for this? How about we dust off these golf clubs here? Sure. There we go. And we're talking about Jekyll Island, just a dry day, good old-fashioned golf forecast, low 80s with that east-northeast wind at 10 to 15. The weather wheel again showing sunshine back in the forecast. And we'll take a closer look at your weekend and the 4th of July coming right up. But first, Katie Jeffries in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Every time I see those golf graphics, I just want to go out and practice my swing a little bit. Hey, good morning, guys. All right, so it's a beautiful start to your morning so far, but we do have an accident that we're talking about here. 95, this is the northbound side, that is the southbound side. So you can see over here, we've had an accident on the northbound side. Now, it's not in the lanes of travel, it's just off to the side, but please be careful, especially since you can see there are people outside their vehicles near the lanes that are moving here along the interstate. So please, please be careful. Let's take a look at it on a traffic map. It's right there on 95 northbound before you would get onto the Fuller Warren Bridge, just past the exit ramps for the Main and the Acosta. So please look out for that officer and that vehicle there. Elsewhere along our roadways, US 17 still pretty slow because of a crash on the northbound side near Raggedy Point. This is just before you cross the bridge to go north towards the Orange Park area. So 2 left lanes there are blocked, and there's about 2 miles of congestion as you're traveling northbound. So give yourself extra time if you're traveling on 17 northbound this morning. Lewis.
Thank you. So just yesterday, she was talking about the wildfire that had part of I-95 shut down near Orlando. And now we got some aerial looks at it. This is why driving was so dangerous in that area. You've got the video showing just how much smoke was in the air in Brevard County, very near Merritt Island. Firefighters say lightning started the whole thing on Monday, but yes, 95 back open now.
Well, thousands are now calling for change after video surfaced of a Jacksonville man abusing his dog. We want to warn you, the video you're about to see, you may find it a bit hard to watch. Now, in that video, you can see a man hitting the dog, hosing it down with water, and even choking that dog. Jacksonville Animal Care and Protective Services initially took the dog away from the owner, but it was given back to the man after he paid fines. Mary Ann Jacob works with the Pet Rescue North, and she says that means that Florida needs stricter laws regarding animal abuse.
I don't think he should have the dog back, and I'm sure anybody looking at that video agrees with me that he is not, you know, a good pet owner. I mean, that's to say the least.
Pet Rescue North is now encouraging Florida residents to sign a petition calling for harsher punishments for animal abuse cases. It now has about 28,000 signatures. If you would like to sign that petition, we have a link posted on our website. That's firstcoastnews.com. Well, an elderly man suffered some severe burns after firefighters say that he was badly burned in a house fire on the west side Tuesday. Family members told us that 79-year-old Harry Smith was found unconscious in his home when the fire started in his kitchen.
Firefighters say his dog did not make it out. So not sure what started that fire, though.
Well, a new report from USA Gymnastics says the organization did not do enough to protect young athletes and failed to report accusations of abuse. This as a former team physician, Dr. Larry Nasser, faces criminal charges and civil lawsuits brought by former team members. Jessica Howard is a former elite gymnast who was born here in Jacksonville. She says that she's among dozens of women accusing him of abuse. Nasser is due in court today facing one of those lawsuits. USA Gymnastics said that it adopted new rules to better protect young athletes, but the organization still faces multiple lawsuits this morning. Well, happening today in Jacksonville, a man accused of shooting and robbing another man outside of a Riverside bar 2 years ago is due in court.
Aaron Coleman faces a murder charge. Daniel Rowe was behind the Blind Rabbit, taking out the trash for work when he died in July of 2015. Now, Coleman due back in court at 9 o'clock. His trial set to begin in August.
Well, last year, more than 100,000 incidents of domestic violence were reported in Florida. That's according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Today, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office is hosting a domestic violence summit to address the problem. It's open to the public and happens at the Hilton Garden Inn that's in Palm Coast at 2 o'clock.
Pretty big paycheck going to a local county coming from the state and federal government as well. Yesterday, Glenn County received $6.7 million from FEMA for what the county had to pay to clean up after Hurricane Matthew last fall. The county is set to receive even more money in the future. It paid a total of $11.4 million to clean up after the storm. So listen to this one. A good Samaritan ends up being punished for only trying to do the right thing, it seems. A Florida man beaten and ridiculed online after police say he tried to help a lost little girl find her parents. So it happened in Lakeland. Officers say a 2-year-old girl got lost. So a man who found her carried her around trying to find her family. Well, her parents found the pair, thought the man was trying to kidnap the girl. So they beat him up. Then, let's go to Facebook now, where he got ridiculed, so much so that the man had to leave town. Police had this message for parents who may encounter a situation like this.
We understand that they're upset. Their parents, I would be upset if I looked and my child was gone in the hands of somebody else, but being the judge and jury and taking action right then probably was not the best thing. And notify law enforcement like they did, but let us handle and investigate as we did.
Yeah, sometimes a deep breath helps. You're going to hear so much more about this case. They're talking about it on the Today Show, 7 o'clock on NBC 12.
Thanks for that, Lou. It's now 6:37. Well, it's a new way to vaccinate and keep yourself healthy. At 6:50, what scientists say about a new flu vaccine that comes in the form of a patch. This is pretty interesting. But first, a much drier forecast ahead. Yes, Mike's back with the details in just 2 minutes.
You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville.
Welcome back. It's 6:40. So yesterday we showed you these insane photos out of Nocatee of a home fire. Neighbors said lightning started that fire there Monday. The family did get out safe. But of course, we're always thinking, considering we're the lightning capital of the country, just how dangerous lightning is. And we talked to this man who actually survived a lightning strike in Jacksonville back in 1990. John Zillahay took a direct hit while he was fishing in Ponte Vedra Beach, a direct hit, and he is still dealing with his recovery to this day.
It hit my fishing pole and went through me, and knocked me out of my shoe. Excuse me, out of my shoes, and killed me.
Well, there he is, dealing with it. John says he still goes out fishing, lives by the motto that lightning doesn't strike the same spot twice. I don't know. Mike Prangley, thoughts?
Well, lightning does strike the same place thousands of times at the Empire State Building, and today, here's the good news. We're going to get a break from most of the lightning for most of us. In fact, I'm outside, and look at all these plants have doubled their size. The lime tree is happy. They're ready for some sunshine. We got that in the forecast. Beautiful start at the beach. Good fishing weather. The difference is high pressure builds in today, and that storm zone shifts to the west coast of Florida. Now, if we get a shower at the beach, it would be this morning, 10 a.m. here downtown about noon, but I'm looking out at Daly's place right now. Diana Ross is playing out here tonight, and it does look like a nice dry evening. jumbo shrimp. Got the stadium right behind me. Looks like some great baseball weather. First pitch temperature of 80 degrees. We'll try to keep this weather coming for the weekend, and I'll have that and your 4th of July forecast. But first, Katie Jeffries in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you so much, Mike. All right, so let's take a look here. This is US 17, and this is kind of near 220. So you can see the slowdowns here on the northbound side of 17. So let's take a look at our map. That's because there was an accident earlier this morning that was near 17 and Raggedy Point Road. And look at the delays that it has caused because 2 lanes there are blocked. And you're looking at about 3 miles now of just congestion. Once you get past it, it's much better as you make your way towards Orange Park. But 17 northbound right now is really kind of a parking lot as you leave Fleming Island and go through Pace Island. If you are traveling along 95 through southbound of State Road 200 near Yulee, possible that there's a lane block there. There's a crash on the southbound side of 95, so do be careful there as well. Back to you.
Thank you, Katie. Still to come, Good Morning Jacksonville. City funds will now be used to tackle the opioid epidemic in Jacksonville.
What this means for people trying to recover from addictions, that's coming up at 6:55.
Plus, a new cyber attack affects thousands of computers all around the globe. I'm Lindsay Boach, and I'll tell you what we know about the attack coming up in your Power Block of Nonstop News.
And welcome back on this Wednesday morning. It's time now for your Power Block of Nonstop News. And breaking overnight, 2 people were hurt after fire ignited in an apartment complex in Arlington.
This happened at a property off Lone Star Road, and firefighters told us the fire began on the 1st floor, but then continued to do damage up to the 2nd floor of the building as well. So those 2 people who were hospitalized were told suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Crews are still looking into what started that whole fire as well.
This could do it on the ground to second. And the Gators get their first College World Series championship.
And history is made in Omaha. The Florida Gators are coming home today after winning the school's first ever national title in baseball. Monica Garcia will have the highlights in about 7 minutes.
But first, the Jacksonville City Council withdraws a bill we told you about yesterday. It would have funded more swimming lessons for local children.
This as a third child drowns on the First Coast in just over 2 weeks. Alex Sather is live at the City Hall this morning with much more on what we can expect in the coming days. Alex.
Keith, this is that ordinance now being tabled apparently from City Hall. Now, this all just in another second here, but we want to talk about the latest incident, a child up in Nassau County dying after being found in a swimming pool, the 4th actual child this month to have drowned in a pool. Now, we want to show you that video from Nassau County where police were on the scene investigating as an 18-month-old crawled out of sight of his teenage babysitter. He was found in a pool. An investigation is underway. This is the 4th child drowning just this month along the First Coast. We'll start with a 12-year-old in Jacksonville that drowned early this month, followed by a 2-year-old in Mandarin, and then that same week a 2-year-old in St. Johns County. Now back to this bill. Councilman Garrett Dennis had proposed this, about $200,000 going towards classes to help kids learn how to swim. It would have impacted about 6,000 kids and would also include some transportation dollars to bring them to those classes. But according to WJCT, the city councilman pulled that proposal just yesterday. And now, there are other programs in place to help kids learn how to swim, including one that is helping about 1,500 kids this summer. There are also other programs across the First Coast, so parents needing those resources, they are still available, but this specific ordinance has been tabled according to WJCT. Now, we are paying close attention to what City Hall and what City Council members are going to be doing with this. Maybe another proposal in the works, but we're keeping an eye on this, and we'll have another update for you as we learn more. And of course, coming up at noon. Reporting live from City Hall, Alex Ositis, First Coast News.
I'm Lindsay Boach with a look at your top stories at 6:48 this morning. A new and highly infectious outbreak of malicious data scrambling software is causing mass disruption across the world. It's hit companies and governments all over Europe especially hard. Officials in Ukraine are reporting serious intrusions of the country's power grid, as well as at banks and government offices. One senior executive posted a picture of a darkened computer screen with the words, quote, "The whole network is down." The Prime Minister says that the country's vital systems has not been affected. The Senate GOP health care vote is a no-go, well, at least for now. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell postponed a planned vote on the Republican health care bill until after the July 4th recess. Both moderate and more conservative Republicans opposed parts of the proposed bill, which is what prompted the postponement. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office had also estimated 22 million people would lose health coverage under this bill. Well, you might soon be able to get a flu vaccine in the form of a patch. Scientists at Georgia Tech have developed that skin patch. It uses tiny dissolvable needles that will deliver the vaccine. Initial experiments show that the patch is safe, it's as effective as traditional flu shots, and patients could give it to themselves. Experts hope that this alternative will increase the number of people who get vaccinated each year. Well, there are now 2 billion monthly users on Facebook. Let's think about that for a moment. 2 billion with a B. There are just about 7 billion people in the world, 7.3, and Facebook is banned in China. Remember that. So China has 1.3 billion people living there. So that makes Facebook the largest social app in terms of logged in users. Is this really any surprise, though? Think about how many people are using it. In 2012, Facebook hit 1 billion, which is just 5 years ago, and it's been up and running for 13 years.
13 years already, wow.
Because there's Zuckerberg making that dollar
making
every
that
time
money,
too,
yeah.
right? A live look outside this morning. Beautiful start to the day, isn't it? But what about the afternoon? We've all been talking about the afternoon drive every day because we get those downpours. What do you think, Mike?
Today, green light go. I'm expecting a dry afternoon drive home. In fact, the weather meme of the day for everyone who prayed for rain. I hope you're happy now. Yes, we finally have a new forecast to share. We've been 12 to 18 inches above average since late May. The big dip in the jet stream we've seen, the tropical connection, really not one but two tropical systems that tried to develop. We got all that rain as well. But notice what happens. This is more of what we would typically see as we head into July. Jet stream heads north. Your storm zones for, areas of New England back to the Midwest. So the Sunshine State is here again. No sustained storms in the forecast like we've seen. Now, this doesn't mean we won't see those pop-up storms late in the day between 4 and 7. Not all of us will see them every day. Look at Saturday's forecast. A high of 91, 60% chance of that pop-up storm, especially I-95 west. And then Sunday, just a 40% chance of that isolated storm. And again, that would favor areas just to the west of the beach. So the beach may just stay totally dry. How about this? Jekyll Island. You'll have a partly sunny, beautiful golf day today. 82 with that east-northeast wind, 10 to 15. Jacksonville Beach, we're using hashtag salt life. Forget the FC and storm today. Temperatures low 80s. You see a pop-up storm here. Those chances are going to be very low at 20%. So for the precision forecast, a beach shower possible at 10 a.m., river walk by noon, Baldwin Bike Trail by 2 p.m., but all the rain stays mainly toward the west coast of Florida, and this drier trend continues all the way through the weekend, including the 4th of July. Right now, all systems go, low 90s. Let's get to Katie Jeffries in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you very much, Mike. So we're still watching US 17 northbound. Now, the crash, it looks like, has been cleared, and this traffic is starting to look better. This is 17 near Eagle Harbor. So it looks like the traffic congestion is starting to kind of relieve itself as it makes its way northbound. So let's take a look here at 17. You're still going to see some residual backups because of this on 17 northbound, but we're hearing that crash has now been cleared. So this should start to get a little bit better on 17 northbound, but we'll keep watching it even after the show. You can look up hashtag Katie's Commuters for that. 95 southbound, if you're making your way out of Yulee towards Jacksonville, look out just as you would pass State Road 200, possibly a lane block there because of a crash. So just look out. They might be off to the side of the road, but either way, you want to use caution when you are passing them on by. Also at 95 here on the northbound side, just as you would approach the Fuller Warren Bridge, look out towards the right shoulder because there is an accident off to the side there as well. Back to you.
Thank you, Katie. Well, hey, Gator fans going to be walking with that extra high Gator step today. And you know what? Deservedly so. After 11 appearances in the College World Series, the school wins its first ever national title in baseball.
And they did it in dramatic fashion, sweeping LSU in the final series. Monica Garcia joins us now with the highlights from last night's victory.
Well, hey there, guys, and most likely a lot of folks at home watching this morning went to sleep maybe not knowing the outcome. Well, if you're a Gator fan, then you're in luck. Florida beat their longtime rival, LSU, to bring home the school's first national title in baseball. Of course, this is why everybody's so excited. It was a 6-1 win over the Tigers in Game 2 of the College World Series at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha last night. That clinched the title. Some would say the big win was a long time coming. Florida has won 13 SEC championships and appeared in 11 College World Series, but now they have finally achieved their goal. Right after the big win, Florida coach Kevin O'Sullivan said he's happy, of course, to say his guys were the ones to win Florida's first baseball national championship.
I'm a little numb right now, to be honest with you. I don't really look at it as the first one. I look at it as one that I thought was inevitable that was going to happen. I just didn't know which team it was going to be. And I love all the teams I coached.
Well, congratulations to them. Of course, the team will be returning home to Gainesville at 4 o'clock this afternoon. They're going to be having a victory celebration over there at the baseball stadium from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. Of course, the public is welcome to join in. Lou, back to you.
Monica, thank you. 6:55 right now. And let's get those top local stories before we have to get out the door this morning. And new information now from Avondale, where 2 homes were shot at Monday night. Happened on Randall Street near Talbot. No one was hurt, but neighbors say a late model Hyundai Sonata was seen speeding down the street before a man inside opened fire. Now people are worried about the future of that area.
I might have to consider moving. And then if you can't feel safe in a neighborhood like this, where can you really feel safe at?
The police do say they've been called to a home that was targeted 6 times in the past 2 years. Suspect or suspects here still on the loose.
Well, these numbers are just disturbing. In 2015, drug overdoses were responsible for the deaths of 1,000 people per week nationwide. The Jacksonville City Council approved a measure last night to use taxpayer money to fight the opioid epidemic. Well, now $1.5 million will be used to support an opioid addiction treatment program for about 6 months. The program focuses on putting overdose patients into drug rehab as soon as they leave emergency rooms. Well, last October, we all remember this, Hurricane Matthew wiped out the dunes on Duval County beaches, and it's taken months to build those dunes back up.
Today, leaders from Jacksonville and the beach communities are going to tell us about the end of the dune restoration project, which must be in sight. That'll happen 11 o'clock this morning, and we'll bring you updates online at firstcoastnews.com as well as on air at First Coast News at noon. How about some Tebow news? All right, Tim Tebow is going to have to wait a little bit longer to make his debut with his new team in St. Lucie. The St. Lucie Mets had their game rained out yesterday. I mean, it was flooding down there, but he'll suit it up tonight. Hopefully, Mike, they'll have a little clearing down there to play some baseball.
And for us, Jumbo Shrimp baseball back in town, Mobile Bay Bears, okay, LA Angels farm system. And we're talking about great weather for baseball, lower rain chances the next couple days. That storm zone's west coast of Florida. And as we take you into the big weekend, that long weekend, including the 4th of July, finally more of a typical summer pattern, just pop-up late-day storms, not ruining any plans, including the fireworks on the 4th.
I-95 northbound, look out in the right shoulder there as you approach the Fuller Warren Bridge. Also, I-10 eastbound leaving Baldwin. Look out for an accident on the eastbound side causing some delays.
Katie Jeffers, Mike Pranley, thank you so much. Keith, back in a half hour, do another update for them. Have a good one.